of their caliber?
Yeah, I think the next step is just being ready to do it, being prepared to do it, having the confidence and the ability of you and your teammates to do that. And I'm not saying that, I'm not saying we're going to go in there and I guarantee you, and I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that that's how we prepare. So I want them to understand when we prepare the way that we can prepare to be great, and we buy into that process. And they see that every day we're getting a little bit better. I think we can compete with just about anyone. And that's what I want them to focus on. I don't want them to focus on number one team in the country on the road, or how many games we've lost in a row to them by how many points. And none of that really matters. All of that is in the past. We have no control over who we play. All we can control is how we prepare ourselves, how we compete, how we sacrifice, how we communicate, all these things that I think sometimes when you watch the games, the 3 games that we've watched this year, at large points in those games, we've broken down in those areas, and I think that's where I can show them, hey, it's not necessarily the missed shots, layups and open threes. Yeah, those would be nice to make all of them, but no team makes all of those. It's all the other breakdowns that we have to clean up so that we can make sure if we go in and we don't win, at least we didn't lose. They had to beat us. They just had to be better than us, and that's how I want them to think every day.
How did Tennessee's physicality, how will that help you this Saturday against the number one team in the country?
Yeah, they're just as big. It's a good question. I think it was good for our younger kids. Specifically, it's been a physical conference so far play, but it's that, Tamari Key is a big girl, and even Sarah Puckett and Carolyn Strickland, they're big kids too. They're big, they're strong. They kind of move around the floor. Rakia Jackson, they're all really big and really strong. And I felt like no matter how much we talked about it and showed them on film, some of our younger guys, some of our freshmen, that first time out come out like, oh, I'm like, yeah, I know. This is why we're telling you in practice. This is why, we have a great practice squad. And we bring in these guys, these huge guys from Vanderbilt that are just students that come in and beat you up because this is what you have to prepare for. Part of that's just that they have to get experience. But now that they have it, playing against Tennessee, I'm really glad that we get a chance to turn around and see how they handle it on Sunday, again, on the road.
Have you seen your programs, start to the season and kind of ascension show up in your recruiting efforts?
Certainly. And it depends on the time of year, it depends on a lot of things, but recruiting is a long process, and there's a lot that goes into it. But I think what's been exciting for us is that the fans, the media, the students and faculty here at Vanderbilt, and our recruits, other teams are starting to recognize that we're getting a little bit better, and that the things that we're talking about, they're seeing them come to life. And that's exciting for us. It's exciting for our players and our program, but certainly it helps us as we move forward, because the things that we've been telling people we're going to do, we're starting to do them now. And that kind of gives you some validation in the process.
Coach, only having 2 of these bye weeks in the SEC season, what's the focus this week to make sure that you're prepared for this next stretch of games?
It's I want our players to continue to really work hard. So we're not going to be in here a long time at this point in the season. We're going to play a lot. We're going to work on some of the things that we've struggled with over the last few games, specific situations, that kind of thing. But I really want them to work on pace and making sure that we're in the elite condition and that we have a high level of communication amongst 1 through 14. That we keep our energy high. Sometimes when you have a bye week, that can dip too, because you're not preparing right now. So today was very competitive. I'm going to keep the practices short, hard, competitive, and make sure that we're working on the things we need to get better at.
On Sunday against Tennessee, they're a bigger size, and rather than saying it's a disadvantage, you call that an opportunity. What do those kind of opportunities look like to win games against bigger teams?
I think you just have to be smart about how you approach what you have versus what you don't have. And I don't think it's helpful in life to talk about what you don't have. You can talk about it till you're blue in the face, but you're not going to get it, probably, especially doing that. But there's always something that you have that other people don't. And so when we talk about what we need to get better at, I always focus on the things that we can actually get better at. I'm not going to be able to give Sasha Washington 4 more inches. Just, you know, I can do a lot of things as a coach, but I can't do that. So we can help her prepare to make sure that she uses her strengths against bigger players that may be a little bit slower, that she understands how she has to defend and how she can attack them on offense, and that it's more of a team effort as opposed to like, Sasha, you're on your own, go deal with the kid. You know what I mean? It's more of a team effort. Like, how are we as a team going to strategize and prepare to beat Tennessee as a team or South Carolina as a team? It's a team effort in everything that we do, and we just try to prepare them to make sure they see, you know, what they can do versus what they don't have or what they aren't.
South Carolina has a lot of elite guard play, whether it's shooting or, you know, being able to get to the basket. What are the challenges of defending that?
Yeah, I mean, I have so much respect for what Dawn's done, and you know, there are a lot of people in the country that know how hard it is to stay at the top for as long as she's done it, and to lose what she's lost last year and to come back at just as strong, really impressive. I love watching them play. The one thing that her teams do is they play hard and they compete, a reflection of her personality. So I think for us, it's matching their intensity and making sure that when we play against them defensively, when we go in on offense, that we're attacking, but that we're also making them go to their third and fourth option and not just giving them their first and second, so that we have an opportunity to keep them having to work hard from start to finish the whole game.
How does having a week of preparation differ from maybe having 2 games in 1 week for your program?
So we have kind of a process how we prepare. We'll usually start a couple days before, but I keep it pretty light. I talk a lot about what we're going to do versus what they're going to do. We give scouting reports, we watch film, all that. What I love about having this week is that we have a couple more days to focus on just us, right? So we don't have to use, you know, half of the practice or a third of the practice to go over how we're going to defend a team. We can just talk about, hey, these are some things we struggled with in the last 4 games, and let's make sure we go over them, we get better at them. We spend some more time skill development wise with our players, one-on-one stuff on the court, in the film room, so they can take a deep breath. It gives us a few more days to just really hone in on the weaknesses I think we have now that we need to get better at down the stretch.